All right, greetings. Welcome to FAST33. This again, Steve Greger, your host, the creator, the innovator, the man of the hour. Going to speak to you here for a few minutes on FAST33. And since I didn't have anybody else introducing me, I had to kind of like introduce myself there. So, anyway, welcome back. I'm glad you're looking at FAST33. I'm going to give you just a quick overview of the indicator itself, and then we'll talk about using it in the next video. But let's meet FAST33. So, for those of you who started out with the original FAST, as I said, in the training the other night, FAST has gone through a couple iterations of which you've only seen one, which was the original FAST. FAST 2.0 I never released. We made some additions to it, and we had vision for more additions, and so rather than releasing FAST 2, we just held on to it and put those additions in and enhancements and are releasing it all. And a lot of people thought this was a typo yesterday, including my own son, who commented about I must be drinking because I told everybody FAST 3.0 is on its way. This really is FAST 3.0, but you'll see why it has its name FAST 33 here in a few minutes. So let's meet FAST 33. So I have a TradingView chart up, and if you haven't guessed, FAST 33 only works on TradingView. Please do not ask if it operates on MT4. It does not operate on MT4. It will not operate on MT4. So I have the Euro US dollar here on the left, going from left to right on the screen. Get my magic pencil here. You can see the 15-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, and a 1-minute chart. So the first thing original FAST users are going to notice is that we actually include and now incorporate the 5-minute chart to give you a little bit better vision and a little bit better opportunity to start trading this thing precisely, out of the gates. A couple things I want to tell you to be aware of that is good, and we can see where we are in candles. If on your background settings you choose to turn on countdown for your bar. So you can see on a 1-minute chart, we are 5 seconds away, 4, 3, 2, 1, of the 1-minute bar ending. It's also a 5-minute bar ending. And so that 1-minute bar that just closed right here was this 5-minute candle close. So they were synced up. Now we're going to have a 1-minute candle close in 46 seconds and a 5-minute candle close in 4 minutes and 44 seconds and a 15-minute candle close in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. So you can actually get down and see which 1-minute candle is closing out your 15-minute candle. Now, of course, you can put cursors on and have them to match all candles at once, and so you'll see the countdown on time. There it is, 10 January 19 at 15:20. Middle chart, 10 January 15:20. 15-minute chart, 10 January 15:15, because that's the candle you're still on. So, whoops, 15:19, 15:15. So as you move it back and forth, you're going to get those different readings, but it'll tell you which candle you're on, and you'll see where you are inside that candle by turning on the countdown till the bar close. All right, so it's a nice feature to let you know where you are in terms of the bars. Let's look at FAST itself, the indicator, and let's look first at the 15-minute chart as our initial look. So a couple things. First of all, these plots are combination plots, so it's a custom plot that I created, as I mentioned, having looked at 2,000 trend moves over 4 currency pairs over 2 years. And I looked at a ton of indicators. I looked at variants of indicators. I had a handful of my own, and I wanted to see which ones perform the best. And so I tweaked mine. I couldn't get the others. I used all sorts of settings. Look, RSI, start out with 14, did 9, did 8, did 7, did 5, did short-term RSI. Looked at stochastics, all the combinations of those trio of parameters that you could possibly think of, and ran tests against all trend moves to figure out what really works. And quite frankly, just being honest, nothing came close to operating the way at that point what we called multi-wave was the first generation of FAST. So FAST is a part of tab 29, which is a second generation version of harmonic wave convergence. And what FAST does is it's just tab 29 but restricted to the 15-minute level and below. So what FAST does is this plot is a wave exhaustion plot. We talked about that's how we measure wave termination. We do not call this overbought and oversold. Okay, it's wave exhaustion. RSI and stochastics you can call overbought and oversold if you want. That's not what this is. It's wave exhaustion. There are periods that will continue to run, and we'll teach you how to run, read that as time moves on. But up front, just understand it's a wave exhaustion indicator. And when it's at an extreme and it flips over, that generally means for that currency pair at that time period that it's measuring, we are. So the orange wave or the gold wave or the pumpkin colored wave, whatever you want to call it or whatever your eyes see, that is the 15-minute wave. Now, because of the way we look at the charts and data feeds, we're experts at this. We've been doing it for many years, almost 10 years now, going into the data feeds, manipulating the data feeds. Who cares what the chart shows? We're inside the data feeds, okay? And I could take, this plot from this chart and put it on any time period. And it's not just you can grab multiple time period, it's what's inside this plot. So again, it's been tried and true over 2,000 trend moves across a myriad of indicators, and we figure out what parameters work best and tune this. But at that, it still has four components. There's four separate indicators in this one plot that you're looking at right here. Four separate indicators in that 15-minute. And because I want to cover all the bases, I want to cover the big fat moves, I want to cover the shallow moves, I want to cover the elongated moves, I want to cover the deep moves, and make sure we've got that. So it's a weighted manipulation of four different custom indicators that we put together with specific parameters. And I guarantee you, I don't care what programmer you stick on this, unless they get into our code, they're not going to be able to reproduce this because it took a good 5 to 7 years to get all this tuned. Some of the stuff that we use, we went to the indicator creators themselves and talked to them extensively about what we were doing, the harmonics we were measuring, the time periods we were trying to be precise on, and got specific tunings on some indicators that they themselves don't even publish for their indicators. So and then inside this, even though it's four waves that make up the plot, as you see it on this chart, on the 15-minute chart, those formulas are weighted as to which one we put more emphasis on in another one. So like I said, we're about 7 years ahead of anybody, even if they started to duplicate us. Now, for those of you that ran fast, the original version 1.0, if you will, you know that we had the trend bar at the top of the indicator, and we had both the red and the green boxes up there, and now down here we have them separated. And so in essence, when we talk about trading this, we're looking for the price to get to an extreme, and we're looking for target zones. So, maybe we're looking at a line up here that could be, this could be a gold cup limit order, an entry order. This could be a pitchfork. This might be the price line, D entry of a harmonic scan. But where fast is used is not by itself, because it's not a system, it's not a strategy, it's not a model. It is an indicator, and I'm just telling you the best ways to use that indicator. So I'm not in the business, I'm not a commodities trading advisor, I'm not licensed as a commodities trader. I don't have a Series 3, Series 4, Series 7, Series 34, whatever. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, I'm an educator, but even educators have to be careful. Technically, the CFTC does not want educators telling you where to get in trades. Get in this pair at this time using this strategy, blah, blah, blah. They consider that as signal service. They consider that financial advice. So I never do that, and my tools aren't about that. My tools are about confirming with precision something that you already suspect is going to happen, i.e. the reversal on a D scan, bouncing off a pitchfork, okay, things like that. FAST got its name from fork and scan turnaround indicator, FAST, forks and scans turnaround indicator. But It could be used on gold cup, teacup. It could be used on bounce back. Okay. As long as you have a zone that you have been given targeting information for where price should be turning around in this region, then fast is going to be the best thing out there. It's going to be your best buddy. So what we're looking for is the wave to get to an extreme, the wave plot. This is an exhaustion indicator, and you can see it gets into this zone up here. All right, the bottom of the zone being 89, top of the zone being 100. 89 is the threshold, and it starts to turn around. And when it starts to turn around, if we get a red bar on a candle close, then we have a trade. Yes, I said red bar on a candle close. Now we're on a 15-minute level. All right, so we'll talk about trading this and the practicality of making tighter trades when we talk about using fast. I'm just going over what it is right now. So as you see it on the page, we have a couple of things going on. We have the fast indicator itself, and of course, as always, you have the format button, the format panel, where you would enter your enable code. You also can have alerts, and we'll talk about alerts in a minute, where you can set the extremes for this channel. 15 at the bottom, 85 at the top. We want a little time. 11 is going to be the threshold for turnaround most of the time. 89 at the top. Give it a few points below that or above that so you can actually get to the chart after you get an alert. But again, your alerts are not to trade as standalone. Your alert should be confirmation of alerts you're getting from something else. Okay? Oh gee, my harmonic scan is approaching the D line. Put an alert on your chart for that price point, for the D line, for the entry line, right? So, but let's look at this. So, for the indicator itself, these trend bars, and we'll talk about these trend reversal bars in a second, we can actually, instead of having red at the top and green at the bottom, we have the bar extend through the full channel. And you do have the option of coloring them anything you want under style. I would stick with red and green. But if you want to use something else, use something else. It's just when you get in community, you like standards. Somebody could use pink and purple. The trouble is people aren't going to know what it is right off the bat unless they're looking closely. All right. And then in those colors, like most of TradingView, we work with the API that works with the indicators, and so you can make those as bright as you want or as faint and dim as you want. Creating an opacity variance there that lets the colors pass through. And the same thing on the red for the cells. You can color it anything you want. You can have it, fire engine red. Notice I said fire engine red. Or you can, tone it down, and make it very transparent and just, lightly there. And now you have the trend bars moving through the entire channel. Now, each one of these do not represent an entry and an exit. That's not what they're for. They're only used when when the waves are at the extreme and when we have a zone, what I call a targeted zone for a known reversal, such as a trend line, such as a pitchfork line, such as a entry line on a harmonic scan, such as you got a bounce back alert that says, okay, we're looking at a sell somewhere in here. Maybe you want to put your bounce back formula or strategy on your charts. Maybe you just look at this and say, you know what, I can see right where they've called a sell in this area. Maybe I could just wait up here and wait for it to get here. Or maybe you've already seen this get to the top and turn down, start coming down, and you can now say, aha, I see why they called it, but we got in earlier. We could have got in earlier. So you could use it in any number of ways, but it is indeed a confirmation indicator, and a lot of people are finding it's pretty easy to use. Now there's one other thing, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the trend bars back to top and bottom by taking the indicator off through the full channel. There's a late break. Now late break is its own separate indicator, and we've put it inside fast, and we'll talk about how to work with late break at a later time. But it's this red line in here, and when we turn it on, we get special lines on the chart that show up at 85, little gray line, see it there, and at 15. You can see it right there. And so those lines help us use the late break indicator. But late break is built into the fast plot. And late break is also a combination indicator. So let's look at this all the way down at the 5-minute level. Now, one thing I need to point out here, when I'm looking at a 15-minute chart, these turnaround trend bars are only valid, we call it local. They're only valid on this chart. They're only valid, in this case, if I'm on a 15-minute chart, they're only valid, 15 is the local time period you're dealing with. Any indicator I put on here, normal indicators, would be local to the 15-minute, meaning they're measuring 15-minute data. They're not measuring anything else. This is not true for the fast plot. Okay? Fast plot is multiple time frame analysis enabled. But the trend bars represent turnarounds, in this case, at the 15-minute level. Now, what does that mean when I drop down to a 5-minute chart? When I drop down to a 5-minute chart, the you'll notice that the multiple time frame nature of fast is working just fine. The 15-minute plot here and the 15-minute plot here in real time both measure the same thing, 16.3, 16.3. All right? So it's not like RSI, where if you put RSI on here and see a plot, it's not going to be the same on your 5-minute chart. So FAST incorporates true multiple time frame analysis. We're manipulating the data feeds. We're not worrying about the charts. We're going right into the data feeds and manipulating them. So when we look at a 5-minute chart, if I were to make this the full screen version, once again, the trend bars represent the 5-minute wave tops and bottoms. And in this case, the 5-minute wave is represented by the magenta, purple, violet, whatever you see or want to call it. And so the greens are not associated with the orange wave here. They're associated with the purple wave. Same thing with the reds at the top. This red is associated with the purple wave. This red is associated with the purple wave. This green is associated with the purple wave because we're on a 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart, the local wave is 5 minutes. And these trend bars operate to tell you what's happening at the time period you're on. So as we move further down the box and we get all the way to a 1-minute chart, and we blow up the 1-minute chart, now we have something pretty powerful. So I want to explain to you. No sells in here on the 1-minute chart, only the buys were qualified. Notice we have an uptrend in this time frame. So let me tell you about what's going on this chart, because this is pretty spectacular. We have little different versions in the waves that we've created because we want a little bit more precision and we want a little bit more clarity in what a true convergence is. Okay, and so these waves are a little bit different. So we have 3 waves here. We have the white wave, which is a 1-minute wave. We have the purple wave, which is our 5-minute wave. And we have the gold wave, which is our 15-minute wave. Now notice we're on a 1-minute chart. Okay? So what we have going on then is this. Remember I said when we looked at those waves that there were 4 components to each wave. That's true. So on the 1-minute wave, I've got 4 components in that white plot that you see. There's 4 components. In the 5-minute wave, we call that the power 5. We have the indicator turned on here, indicator name, so you can see power 5. The power 5 has 8 components in it. 8 different formulas, 8 different indicators that are weighted and averaged, because the 5-minute plot looks at both the 5-minute data and the 3-minute data, because I'm looking to see these things converged. And so they're weighted and averaged. And so the 5-minute plot that you see here is 4 indicators from the 5-minute chart and 4 indicators from the 3-minute chart, giving us a total of 8. There's 8 indicators in that one plot. There's 4 in the 1-minute plot. Now the 15-minute plot is kind of interesting. We call it the power 15. And it has 12 components. It measures the 15. it measures the 5, and it measures the 3. We're really narrowing it down. We want to see a tight convergence. And so there's 3 components, and each one of those have 4 components to them. So when you see this orange plot here, it's not just a plot. It's not like RSI, one plot. There's 12 different components to that. There's 12 different indicators built in to that orange plot. There's 8 different indicators built into this purple plot. There's 4 different indicators built into this white plot. Now let me tell you about these bars. Some of you have seen the tab 29 charts with the trend bars at the top, and there's 6 bars. You see 6 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're red or green alternatively. Each one of these is its own turnaround indicator designed for tight time frames, 15 minutes and under. Over 15 minutes, there's just way too much lag. And the tighter we get down the box, by the time we get to the 1 minute, these have typically turnaround points within 2 to 3 pips. The 6th bar, oops, let me just do it like this. So again, what you see is 1 bar, but let me tell you what's happening here. So the top bar in tab 29 has 1 indicator in it. The second has 1, the third has 1, the fourth has 1, the fifth one. The 6th one has 4. So when you see this trend bar, which is a merger of the tab 29, there are 9 indicators in that. And some of these are traditional indicators, okay, along with our custom stuff. So we do have RSI, we have LRSI, we've got stochastic, a couple versions of stochastics, we've got Heikin-Ashi, we've got gravity, we've got CCI, so what you have here, guys, is do the count. Start at the bottom. Give me 12, and 8 is 20, and 4 is 24, and 9 is 33. FAST33 got its name because on the 1 minute chart, where you'll have the precision the most, there's 33 indicators in this channel. It's not crowded. And so where rookies make a mistake, rookies I can tell have not been to my training. You know why? Because I see them have FAST on their chart and they still have RSI and MACD and stochastics, and it's like, dude, you're wasting real estate and you're messing up your eyes because you're trying to look at multiple indicators, which does what? It taxes your RAS, your reticular activity system, which is your sensory information gateways. What gets screened in and screened out? You're asking it to monitor more things. It's like giving a computer and upping the bandwidth into it, and it's got to monitor all the traffic in that bandwidth, and you keep forcing more bandwidth and more bandwidth. It's going to start slipping. It's going to start doing what? Buffering. It can't handle it. And so, FAST is designed to be the one-stop shop. It's got 33 experts in it. Why do you need to peel one out and put it on your charts to try and make it look like that one's more significant? See, I don't know about you, but see this thing right here? When you have a condition like this, that says the 15-minute wave and the 5-minute wave and the 1-minute wave are all at their bottom, and oh, by the way, we got, which is 24, and now we've got 9 more experts separately agreeing with them. So you have to have 33 experts in agreement that you're at the bottom of a 15-minute wave before you can take the trade. Now, what happens in these 9 if just one of them says, I'm not sure? It stays black. This isn't like the Supreme Court where you can have a 5-4 decision and it turn up positive or negative, green or red. It's not going to happen. It has to be 9 and 0. So it's why you wait for the green. It's why you wait for the red. It's why you wait for them on a candle close in order to secure they don't change their mind in the body of the candle. And that candle closes, it has to be 9-0. All 9 guys down here, all 24 guys here. You got 33 experts on your side. So those traders that fill up their charts thinking, oh, this makes me a trader because I've had 3 indicators here. They're dealing with 3 indicators. Okay, MACD, you might have, an extra moving average in there. So MACD, RSI, stochastics, you got maybe 5 indicator plots total. But it takes up 3 channels on your chart. Got 33. And all 33 of mine have to agree at the same time, or there's no trade. So that's why it's called FAST33. Very, very powerful multiple time frame analysis. Now I'll tell you, this is my life work, guys. It took me 16 years of trading to, come up with this and refine it. And we just did, a bit of refinement to get fast out that tab 29 doesn't even have yet. We're going to go back and we're updating tab 29. So fast is it right now. You got the best. It's just restricted to 15 minutes and less. But as you're going to see in how to trade it, that doesn't mean anything. So one more time, the format panel will give you the place to put in your enable code. It lets you set the extremes for the alerts. It lets you turn the channel trend bars on to go through the entire channel. It lets you put in the late break indicator. All right. So one more thing, since we have the indicator on the chart, let's say, let's go back to our 15-minute. Let's say that I had a gold cup entry order at that price point. Teacup, whatever. So I know, these are 15-minute candles. So while it just looks, shallow, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're down here. We're literally, looking at the average size candles. We're like, I'm not going to sit on my chart for 3 hours to see if it tags that line. So I can set an alert. Now I could do it a couple ways. I could put a price alert on my chart just the way you always would put a price alert on your chart. Draw a line, click on the line, set a price alert on that point. If you want to know when price is coming up here based on price. You can also set extreme alerts with fast. And it's pretty simple. So we look at the alert mechanism that's provided with inside the charts, and we build our indicators, through an API, a programming interface to talk to the alert mechanism of TradingView. So our indicator can have TradingView alerts synchronized or working with it. So remember, we set the thresholds here, 85.15. You can set those to whatever you want. So all you do, as you typically would, is if we're in real time, let's say, was it down here that I said? We're in real time down here. We just finished bouncing off the bottom. Let me go back over here and take a late break off for this, because I don't want to cause any confusion. All right. So in real time, we were down here somewhere, and we want to set an alert knowing not a price point, but when this wave is exhausted. When the wave's exhausted. As I said, maybe we have a alert to tell us when price gets up to the limit order, for our sell, the entry order for our sell. And we want to know if if the turnarounds are going to occur there or before it or after it. So we can set an alert to tell us when this wave gets to the top. I don't know where that price is going to be. Maybe it's here at the top. Maybe that's the top. Maybe it's here. I don't know where it is in price. I just know when the wave is exhausting here. So we can set alert like you would normally set an alert. You just right click on the right side of your screen, add alert. Now, instead of the condition being the Euro USD, which we are on the Euro USD, we're dynamically going to change it. Again, remember, we're talking to this alert mechanism. Ooh, FAST 3.0. And I'm going to use a sell bar. In this case, I'm using the power 15 or peak 15. So we're just going to do a sell bar. I only need once, and we're going to change this to be 15 minute. So 15-minute sell. So now we've got it set to fast. We've got a sell, fast 15-minute fast sell, and we're good to go. And then wherever you have your alerts showing up, they're going to show you. If they come to email, if they go to your SMS, you know, you can send directly to your SMS, or you can send an email to your SMS. And this can be a separate email than your SMS number. So Dallas and I share this premium set of charts. So when I do an alert, I send them to my cell phone. When Dallas does an alert, he sends them to his cell phone, but he uses his email address. That way, he can get just his alerts, and I can get just my alerts. You can do whatever you want. Play the sound, show the pop-up, etc. So now I can set an alert, and we're good to go. So FAST has alerts at any level, the 15-minute level, the 5-minute level, and the 1-minute level. So you can set alerts for buy or sell, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's the brief intro to FAST. Let's talk about how to trade it in the next video. Give you a break.